Hey, what's up guys? My name is Rob. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. Today is going to be another question corner in celebration again of my new camera. And the fact that I was able to go back and do the Q&A that was 2 months long overdue just a couple of days ago. I wanted to kind of continue playing around with some things, and I really wanted to get back to some other old formats. I recently was able to do a brand new Rob Theories video, which I hadn't done in a while. Today I wanted to do another question corner. And so I recently had a brand new question that is very relevant. It's not 2 months old at this time, which feels pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Really quickly before I get started, I have to give a special shout out to a YouTube user, Mario TGP, my man who's actually been following Rule of Two Review and commenting on my videos for quite a while. Mario mentioned how I haven't answered one of his questions before, and man, if you've asked some questions and I've never answered one of them, I'm sorry. I promise you, I try not to leave anybody out, but sometimes I get overloaded with questions on those Q&A videos, and I don't mean to do that. So, as I just left in the comment before I recorded this, I promise you that the next question you ask, I'm going to dedicate an entire Question Corner video just to you, man. So please ask me a question soon so I can get to it. I love talking about the gaming topics you guys are curious about. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to get to today's question for Question Corner. Of course, as a reminder, also leave your questions below. Yes, I've dedicated the next one to Mario TGP's question, but still, I'm going to get back into the question corner. I want you guys to leave anything that you're curious about that you want me to talk about. I'll make a special question corner episode dedicated just to that question, my answer, and give you a special shout out as well. So, today's question comes from YouTube user Haindog. And Haindog asks me a pretty cool question. Again, very, very relevant, especially going into E3. He asks me, he says, got a question for you. Do you think Halo 5 will be what Microsoft needs to even remotely catch up to the PS4? So, that is a really good question for many, many reasons. The short answer is yes, I absolutely think Halo 5 is going to help Microsoft drastically in that specific console battle that's happening between Microsoft and Sony and the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And I think that there's a lot of reasons why I think that that's the case. One, because Halo 5 is probably going to be the biggest and best-selling title this year outright. I guess with the exception of Call of Duty, but if we were to look at just exclusive games, I think Halo 5 is going to be the best-selling game. Since we don't have Uncharted 4 or Zelda coming out for the other two systems, there's no way that either of those systems are going to have a title that's going to match what Halo 5 will do, you know? Unless we get like a surprise Metroid announcement, you know, and Metroid's huge. But even still, I don't think Metroid, my favorite series, has a chance of selling as much as Halo 5. And that's okay. I think Halo 5 is going to be amazing. I love the Halo franchise. I am super pumped. The new ad campaign, the marketing that they are running right now for Halo 5 is phenomenal. It's honestly, they've knocked Halo's campaign, marketing campaigns out of the park for pretty much every Halo game. They've done amazing things there. So it's really exciting to think about what that game is going to be like and how well it's going to do for Microsoft and the Xbox One. Now, when you start looking at, again, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 together, competitively, and the edge that Halo 5 would bring, I think that the reason Halo 5 could make such an impact is because there's so many other things right now that are going in Microsoft's favor and in favor of the Xbox One. Honestly, the price point I think is huge because right now the Xbox One, as far as we know, seems to be permanently selling for $349, which is $50 less than the PlayStation 4 sells for. We know that started when Microsoft dropped the Kinect last year. They made a $399 version of the Xbox One, which put it right on par with the price of the PlayStation 4. Then going into holiday last year, they gave us a temporary price drop to $349, which coincidentally is when I picked up my Xbox One. And then they rose the price back up to $399 for a period after the holidays, but then almost immediately dropped it back down to $349, and it's been that price ever since, as far as I know. So it seems like that is the actual Kinect-less price for the Xbox One. $350, that's it. It has a $50 edge over the PlayStation 4. And that's a great price. It's very competitive. It's only $50 more than a Wii U, so it's sitting right there in the middle where I think Microsoft wants to be. And so when you look at the fact that the Xbox One has been selling more and more, in April it was just revealed that the Xbox One was the best-selling console. I think it is only the second month that the Xbox One had sold more units than the PlayStation 4. November last year, November 2014 was the other month, and I think those are the only two. If they're not, honestly, it's so few and far between that even happens. It's a pretty big deal that just last month the Xbox One sold more. What I think is happening, if we look at the broader picture, and the reason why I think that, honestly, I think the Xbox One is just going to do better than the PlayStation 4 overall this holiday, is because it's the system that has momentum to gain. Yes, the Wii U has momentum to gain, but it's in such a specific space, and it's such a different level of momentum it has to gain by comparison, so it's not really, I don't really want to compare that. The Xbox One competes against the PlayStation 4 more specifically, and that is the system that has grounds to gain, you could say. And the PlayStation 4, which has done phenomenally well and sold like crazy, honestly, I think it's up to it's the Xbox One's game to win at this point, if that makes sense. It's their race to win, I should say. PlayStation 4, I mean, yes, it could keep up its momentum, but it doesn't seem likely. It's the PlayStation 4 that you would think is going to be plateauing very soon. Maybe the sales figures of April are kind of indicative of that plateauing. And so as the PlayStation 4 is going, and then it plateaus, then the Xbox One is the one with grounds to start catching up, and all these other people who bought PS4 start saying, well, now I want to get an Xbox One. It's $50 cheaper, and it's got Halo 5. Not to mention the other huge portion to this whole conversation that I personally believe in, which is that as of right now, we're a month away from E3, but going into E3 right now, the Xbox One has the better, more compelling library that currently exists and seems to be coming up soon. They have the best release schedule with games like Tomb Raider and Halo 5 coming out. They have great games to play that are exclusive: Ori and the Blind Forest, Sunset Overdrive, Dead Rising 3. PlayStation 4 has a couple of gems, and you've heard me rave about Bloodborne, and I could rave about Bloodborne to the end of time. That game alone would have justified my PS4 purchase. But Bloodborne doesn't appeal to as many people as something like Tomb Raider or Halo 5. So that's the difference. So a quintessential game needs to be more than just perfect for that audience. It's the argument a lot of people say with some of Nintendo's best games. Where you could say Metroid is a huge series that's great for Nintendo's audience, but it doesn't always reach that many non-Nintendo players. Just like Bloodborne isn't really going to reach a lot of non-PlayStation players and entice people to buy that system. Halo 5, that will make people buy an Xbox One. It absolutely will. So when you think of the PlayStation 4 potentially plateauing, we haven't really seen signs of that yet, and you look at the Xbox One with a game like Halo 5, and a couple of other gems coming out this year that are exclusive to that system. Yes, I think that Microsoft and the Xbox One will almost for sure have a better holiday than Sony and the PlayStation 4. And Nintendo and the Wii U, especially without Zelda. I think that my prediction is the Xbox One will have the best holiday. Now, again, E3 could change some things. Sony could have a shit ton of surprises that we have no idea to think about that would actually be releasing this year for the holiday. And if that happens, then forget about it. The Xbox One, even with Halo 5, won't have a chance of catching the PlayStation 4. But if the PlayStation 4 has its same average library and list of games that are coming out this holiday, not a lot of exclusives. I think No Man's Sky is probably the only other high profile exclusive that we know is coming out this year. If they don't have another another selection of large exclusive titles this year, then I don't think that they're going to be able to. I don't think that they're going to have a great holiday by comparison. And I think that Microsoft and the Xbox One will have a great holiday. I think they're going to have a great holiday no matter what. At this point, just with the couple of titles that we know are coming to the Xbox One, I think they're going to have a great holiday. You throw in a couple other surprises at E3, even better. Now, again, I mean, I'm kind of repeating the ideas, but it comes down to if Sony can have some more surprises that can level the playing field for the holiday. And either they keep on their same pace and the gap between them stays the same through the holiday, or PlayStation plateaus, Xbox One just keeps on rising, man, and keeps on going. And I know it became kind of more of a conversation than just Halo 5 specifically, but Halo 5 is leading that charge, make no mistake. I think that Halo 5 is just that, it's that one title, man. I think that you'd have to think that Phil Spencer and all the Xbox execs were jumping for joy when Uncharted 4 got delayed, and then a couple of weeks later, Zelda got delayed. They were like, we're good. We've got this holiday on lock, because they knew Halo 5 was without question going to be releasing this year. You could get into the more nitty-gritty aspects of the conversation if you want to talk about, will Halo 5 potentially have some of the same launch issues that the Master Chief Collection had and is still having? And if that stuff does happen with Halo 5, would that, you know, sort of mitigate some of the sales success the game would have? I think that actually it would mitigate some of that success. Halo 5 will still be huge regardless, but would it be less impactful right away with a shitty launch? Yeah, I think it would. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I have full faith that 343 and Microsoft are putting all efforts into Halo 5 to make sure that it launches well. If anything, probably doubly so because Master Chief Collection launched so horribly. I think that if anything, it was probably good for them to have that indication a year out that they might have issues launching a new Halo game so they can say, whoa, now we've learned with the Master Chief Collection where we need to focus our efforts to make sure that Halo 5 won't launch with the same issues. So that's just one of many reasons why I know Halo 5 won't launch that way, but I mean, hey man, you never know. And if it did, I think it would slow the sales down a little bit, but not enough to make a big impact. So what I don't think will happen is I don't think that by the end of 2015, the Xbox One, no matter how good of a holiday it has and no matter how bad of a holiday PlayStation may have, I don't see the Xbox One surpassing the PlayStation 4 this year. I think there's still way too big of a gap, and the PlayStation 4 will still continue to sell. But I think that, like I said, the Xbox One, barring insane surprises from Sony at E3, the Xbox One will have the best holiday of the three consoles, and I think that it will gain massive ground on the PlayStation 4, setting it up to potentially surpass the hell out of the PlayStation 4 in 2016. And you know, that's not doom and gloom for Sony. These things happen. This is how it happens with every generation and every console. And, you know, provided you do well, that's all that matters. So, you know, a Sony fan might say, oh, that's bullshit. You know, it'll never happen. Or if it does happen, they might be like, oh no, the PlayStation 4 is doomed because the Xbox One surpassed it. Yeah. Or the PlayStation 4 has sold 20 fucking million units in not even 2 years and is doing A-okay even if the Xbox One surpasses it. So, you know, you don't need to turn it into the wrong conversation. People and fanboys and the console war brings out the worst in people. It's totally true. I get it. But I don't think that that's going to be what's happening here. There is no doubt that by the end of this generation, no matter how it all pans out, I think that both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are guaranteed to be seen as successes. The Wii U is unique in that I don't think that it'll be seen as a success overall. I mean, it really isn't a success overall. However, it's not losing money for Nintendo. The software sales are insanely well for it. And it's a system that most people love and recognize as great, despite it not selling super well. So I think it'll be a personal and monetary success for Nintendo, but it won't be seen as a critical or commercial success by the industry. Again, provided that fortunes don't change incredibly so for the Wii U over the next couple of years. And it really hurts me how true that is, but, you know, gamers nowadays are just not that smart. And I will leave it at that. So with that, I think I'll wrap this up. Yeah, Halo 5, going to be a great game, going to do great things for Microsoft. Halo 5 plus a couple other key factors I think will help Microsoft succeed over Sony in this holiday season and will potentially lead, to the Xbox One surpassing the PlayStation 4 sometime in 2016. So there you go. That's my prediction. That's how I think it's all going to factor into this year. Great question. Thanks, Haindog, for the question. As much as I love talking about Nintendo, I always appreciate, you know, something that helps me not have to talk about Nintendo. And I think that on my last Question Corner video, I had mentioned how all of my first Question Corner videos were only about Nintendo stuff, and I was like, well, it'd be nice to talk about something not Nintendo for a while. So, you know, really, that's super cool that you asked me a question about, you know, Xbox One and Halo. So thank you for that. That was really cool. Hopefully you guys dug this. Please share your thoughts about my thoughts about Halo 5, the Xbox One, and the PS4, and the console race below, all those good things. Of course, if you're new to Rule of Two Review, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It helps me out, helps the channel out big time. I love interacting with you guys and answering your questions directly and giving you guys shout-outs. It's a lot of fun for me. I think it's a lot of fun for you. Share your thoughts about that stuff. Of course, leave a question below, too. As many questions as you guys can leave, and I'll start coming back to these more often. The more questions I get, maybe the more often I'll be able to make Question Corner videos, because this is a lot of fun. So, even though, like I said, next video is dedicated to Mario TGP if he decides to leave me a question for a video. So, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You're always awesome, and I will catch you guys next time on another video for Rule of Two Review.